Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Black and Gold Happy Hour Sports Talk. I'm Mike Florak. We're looking forward to an awesome show today. We're coming to you from Sunset Motors in Steubenville. What an institution Sunset Motors has been for so long here. What a great business to have here in our valley. With us to my far right is the owner, one of the owners of the family, of the Cherepko family, Don Cherepko, who I go way back with. So glad to have you here, Donnie. And our special guest today, my old buddy, Rocky Bragg, current head coach of the Steubenville Catholic Central women's basketball team and former Wheeling Thunderbird. So we're going to talk a little bit of hockey, a little bit of basketball, a little bit of everything here. We do have Howard Carnell is going to be with us, Tom Teak-Mort from the Unified Sports Program at Indian Creek, and of course, the guy who runs the show. I can't thank him enough for all that he does. Dan Vogel is behind the scenes pushing the dials for us. So Howard is here. We're so excited to have Teak here. And Howard's a huge Penn State fan, so we're breaking the news, as Howard did, that Matt Campbell is going to be named the head coach at Penn State. And, of course, there's some Valley ties here with John Haycock, who is the defensive coordinator at Iowa State. Been a long time with Matt Campbell in a couple different stops. John was a good friend of mine. He spent a year as the head baseball coach and assistant football coach at Steubenville High School back in 1984 and 85. And then he later became the head coach at YSU, replacing Coach Tressel. So know John quite well. I hope Matt Campbell, for his sake, is able to bring some of those great guys with him on that staff that he assembled. So that's big news in the college football world. But we're going to open today with some other football. The Turkey Bowl, the Unified Sports Turkey Bowl that happened a couple weeks ago. With us, we have one of the instructors from Indian Creek High School and their Indian Creek system, Tom Teak-Mort. Teak, how are you today, buddy?
I'm fine, Flack, but I got to say, I did not know that the Crusader legend Rocky Bragg was a member of the Wheeling Thunderbirds. Like, I'm all off track here because you just knocked me over with a feather on that one. I know I don't have a whole lot of time, but I got to hear about that at some point, okay? I don't know that much. I mean, I'm assuming that, like, you were a wing, Rock. Well, I know you weren't a goalie.
I was the goalie.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Before Bishop,
That's how much I know about hockey.
I was the trailblazer, the tall goalie.
Okay. A 6'8" goal. Okay. That's how much I know about hockey. But anyway, congratulations, Rock. And I see our Crusader girls are doing, off pretty good start, right? I know we did good in our scrimmages. I teach drivers that. I had some of your basketball players, and they were telling me how good the scrimmages went. So good job there.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're going to talk with Rocky a little bit about his season, a little bit about his time with the Thunderbirds, and of course Crusader basketball.
Well, yeah, I'm never going to pass up an opportunity to credit a Crusader there. You know that. But as far as our Turkey Bowl, this was our third annual Turkey Bowl. Coach Ross Ike, brought his Big Red up to play us. We had a record crowd. We had close to 1,000 people at that game. We had over 600 elementary school kids there. We had, of course, our band, our entire high school student body was there. Steubenville was not able to bring large numbers, but they did have they brought their team. They were well represented with about 13 players. Santino Haney and Landon Crozier, who 2 days later were playing in a state playoff game. They were the coaches, and we had a couple of our players, Bo Pauly and Franco Barcalo were our coaches, and Sheriff Fred, did the coin toss again. He started off for us a couple of years ago as our honorary coin tosser, so it was off to a great start, and the game went really well. Misha Amos, who I'd love to bring on here at some point. You guys would love to meet this athlete. He had a 50-yard run actually to give Indian Creek the lead, and we were able to hold on. But and a documentary was filmed during that game, and when you guys get the opportunity to watch this documentary and seeing the Steubenville and the Creek players, it was just something to see. And our superstar Misha and Braden Stewart and Caleb, it was really a wonderful event once again.
Well, we're so proud of you and the things that you're doing with that program. For the people who don't know and didn't see you on a couple weeks ago with us, Steve, tell us like quickly, what the Unified Sports Program is all about.
Yeah, Unified Sports combines students with and without intellectual disabilities on the same team. I set up the schedule and everything, but our kids run it. Our general ed kids are our coaches. They form the teams. We usually have about an 8-man team. We'll have 4 special ed kids and 4 general ed kids on the same team, and they're competing. I mean, man, we're keeping score, and they're playing and they're making plays, and it's just the word unified says it all. But it's a wonderful program. We've had basketball. We had a football game. We've had 4 or 5 football games, 4 or 5 basketball. We've had 2 track meets. We're named a banner school for Unified Sports and got awards from ESPN and Unified Sports. It's a branch of Special Olympics, so it's just a wonderful program. And Rock, you being a basketball guy, when we play our basketball game, we had a Crusader legend, Jim Wood, who comes to all the basketball Unified games. So we'll let you know about it. Maybe you can come check out some of the basketball.
Love to be part of that.
You and Woody, you'd be the Twin Towers.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. But
Woody said he found out about it. He saw it on Facebook, and him and his son Jimmy, who was an Indian Creek player, they came to the game. And I would tell you, you're not going to leave without a smile on your face for sure.
That would be amazing.
A little bit about the feedback that you got from your family, how much that means to those kids to be able to.
I mentioned the story. I mentioned Misha. And his brothers, he had 3 brothers that were very, very good baseball players for Indian Creek. And they're just a wonderful family. I think there's about 10 of them, literally. And, of course, they followed their other sons' sports careers. Well, it's just wonderful for this family to come, all the brothers and their sister, just to be able to watch Misha compete. That's something I don't think they ever thought would happen. And here it is. And then Caleb Mannion, our captain, his mom and his aunt and his grandmother coming up to us after the game and just thanking us for the opportunity to allow Caleb to play for Indian Creek. And again, same thing to Steubenville kids. Coach Ike will tell you, all the parents coming up to him after and just so grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, and Coach Ike, of course, is Ross Ikovich, longtime teacher and coach of many sports down at Steubenville High School. Has done an awesome job partnering with you in this endeavor. Teek, where could people find more information about the Unified Sports Program?
Well, it's always on our website, the Jefferson County ESC, where our publicity department, Amy Colantonio, they're always putting out flyers and Facebook. Information on Facebook and letting us know. And I'll try to do a better job of getting it out there in the newspaper and News 9. They partner with us at times. We've had Addison Albert when she was with News 9. She actually played in a game. And so hopefully, we'll get through them and they'll let know what's going on. Our next event's going to be a basketball game, but it's going to be sometime in January. And we're not exactly sure of the date, but we'll make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, and we'll have you back to promote that a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, and I'd really love to bring some of my athletes on because you guys would love them. You would absolutely love them.
We can do that too. So we'd love to have you. But thanks so much for the update. You can stick around. We're going to talk a little bit next about the Pirates. If you want to, the Steelers, we have to talk about them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, right?
Rocky
I got to run, though. My boys' free time's about over, so I got to get back to them. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Always great to be with you, my friend. Keep up the awesome work, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. See y'all.
That's Teek Mort with the Unified Sports Program at Indian Creek High School, doing incredible things out there with those individuals. Find out some more information on the Jefferson County Educational Service Center website there about that program. It is growing. It's tremendous. There are many people involved. Those kids deserve a chance to shine like Teek said, their brothers and sisters and all their fellow students. So we'll look forward to keep continuing to following them and having them be a part of this show. Donnie and Rock here. We're going to talk, go to the Pirates. HK, Howard's still with us, I believe. Howard, you're still with us, aren't you? Howard dropped, but we okay. We'll save the Pirate talk for a minute because I want to get Howard's feedback that the Pirates made a trade yesterday. Among others, Johan Oviedo was sent for the big draw in that deal that they got from the Red Sox, and I hope I pronounced this right. I believe it's Yostin Oxen Garcia. I think that's how you pronounce it. But he's supposed to be a power hitter, outfielder, right-handed hitter. Hit, I believe, 24 combined home runs in the minor leagues in 2024. I think he had a couple injuries last year, but I think the Pirates are excited about adding another power hitter to the stable. And of course, they have an abundance of pitching, so some of these deals have to be made. And if Howard's able to pop back on, we'll discuss that a little bit further. Donnie Cherepko here, the owner of Sunset Motors. We have here a very interesting artifact. Did you keep this in your office, Donnie?
Well,
Is this
our used car manager, John McCullum, brought it in. He's a long-time season ticket holder, and it's got some signatures from the original Steel Curtain on there.
all four of the original Steel Curtain members are signed here? Joe Green, Ernie Holmes on this side, Dwight White, and L.C. Greenwood on the other side. This is quite an artifact here. This thing is worth some money. Are you one of the ones screaming "Fire Tomlin"? If you're not, you should be. No, I'm just kidding. Well, and that's what we have to talk a little bit about is the Steelers and their struggles. And they have, of course, going into this game against the Ravens on Sunday, a 6-6 record, as are the Ravens, who lost unexpectedly. They got thrashed by the Bengals, leveling their record out at 6-6 when Joe Burrow comes back. And you can't count out the Bengals at this juncture either, especially with Joe Burrow. Donnie, you follow the Steelers fairly closely. Been a Steeler fan for a long time. What are your thoughts about the way the Steelers are going right now?
I don't envy the Roonies. That's all I can tell you. They built their brand around keeping coaches for a long time. And I think that's good for the Steeler Nation. I think it's, people see that they empower their coaches to do their own thing and they stand behind them. And I think it just is good for the team and for the fans. But, then when it comes time to maybe change, it's probably the same thing that makes them keep it. These coaches makes it hard to get rid of them too. So I don't envy them, but I'm starting to join the bandwagon. I think it might be time.
Any hope for this season?
They're still almost tied for first place. I think they won a Super Bowl as the last seed one time.
In 05, correct.
Stranger things.
Super Bowl 40, they put together a run. That's a great point that they put together a run and won their last 5 games.
Yeah.
Squeaked in as the last team in the playoffs. And, of course, that was Jerome Bettis' last year, his homecoming when they won in Detroit there. Hines Ward was the MVP of that game against the Seahawks. I'm not feeling that this team is going in that direction, but we never know. There's always hope. You have some big players, big names on that defense who can make some big plays and turn around games in just one play. There's also talent on the offensive side of the ball. We're hoping that offensive line can gel together at some point.
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, Rock, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're a coach. You got a great mind for sports. You were a great athlete yourself. What are your thoughts about this?
Right now, it's just amazing to me that the defense is playing at the level they're playing. I expected a lot more at the beginning of the year. I think we all did, right? Mm-hmm. And to see how, I don't know, there seems like there's so many holes right now on that defense. And for me, it's just a matter of them coming together. Maybe it's the X's and O's on the defensive side of the ball. The coaching staff just has to get them where they need to be to excel in their positions. Offensively, I'm actually very satisfied with what Rodgers brings. I think he operates like a surgeon out there. And who knows, with Adam Thielen coming in, there's another weapon possibly. Who knows?
Sooner or later, we got to hit on one of these veterans.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking chances, right? So maybe one of them will come through. I think, like you had mentioned, the offensive line. I think we need a little bit more production there. We have some good backs, and I think they're running through the holes hard. and it's just a matter of creating those holes and giving them opportunity and playing our kind of football.
Yeah, controlling the line of scrimmage. That's one
Exactly.
thing they haven't done. And
Either way,
defensively,
I know.
it's been a big problem.
Yeah, right.
And I haven't seen. I don't know if it's since the loss of Brian Shazier, that stretch play that's run to either side. There seems to be cutback holes. There seems to be able to get around the end way too easy.
I
And they
agree.
haven't made any adjustments to stop
It doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like a very aggressive defense like the Steeler defenses that we've seen in the past, with, of course, the Steel Curtain that we have here and the Blitzburg gang from the 90s, and then the group in the 2000s when you had Paul Amalo doing all kind of different things, and the strength of the linebacking core with some of the guys like James Ferrier and Joey Porter. It just hasn't been the same. We haven't seen that. And the individual talent, I think, is there. I still think TJ Watt has some left in his tank.
Yeah,
I think Cam Hayward has played okay. I know his sack numbers are down. He's batted down a lot of passes. He's made a lot of tackles. The linebacking core, there's depth there. They have some guys with skill, but they have to fill those holes a little bit better because you can't stop the run. You might as well forget it.
DBs, you know, I think early on they were exciting to watch, but it just feels like they're just giving too much space right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of room out there, and that's what happens. I think that's a trickle-down effect of not being able to control the line of scrimmage and stop the run. And this is the acid test going up against Derrick Henry this week, because
For sure.
they don't come any better or bigger or tougher than Derrick Henry. So the Steelers are going to have their hands full. We'll look forward to continuing to follow that. But I was there on Sunday, and I've never seen, after 50 years of going to Steeler games, I've never seen such a flat atmosphere. I've never seen a lack of enthusiasm with the fans, the players, everybody on down. And also, they're booing Renegade now. Chance, for the first time that I've ever heard, to fire Tomlin, we're going through the crowd. And it's just not it's not our daddy Steelers.
Right.
That's something just needs to be changed. And whether or not they can flip that switch in the middle of a week, in the middle of the season, boy, I don't know. I'm holding out hope, but I'm not super optimistic. Howard, back with us, buddy. What are your thoughts on the Steelers? Or do you want to talk about your Jets? No? Howard, any thoughts about the Steelers? Can you hear us?
Not yet.
No, he doesn't have it. Okay. Well, and last night, going on to hockey, Rock, the Penguins, big win in Tampa against a tough Tampa team.
So I think the Penguins are the surprise of the year to me. I think coming in, there weren't enough changes that we maybe felt they needed prior to the season. We seem to be sticking with the core, which I think a majority of us thought needed change. And coming into we got a new coach now. It feels like we got a new coach,
Yes,
right?
Because
the energy is different.
Yeah.
The guys are playing with a little more enthusiasm. Our role players are fulfilling their obligations, right? Even goaltending. Jari's doing a better job.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And we got a couple new goaltenders that are a young guy, and he's doing wonderful. And the goalie we got from Vancouver, he's okay. He's holding his own.
Yep.
But I think it's exciting to watch again. That the product is bringing back some old memories.
And they've played a league high 10 rookies so far.
How about
Not afraid to throw those guys in there. So got to give Dan Muse some credit. Donnie, you follow the Penguins very much, or mostly just the Steelers? Yeah, well, that's okay. But I'm sure you've been to a few games or two. But when the Penguins are going through the winter and they're competing, it gives us something to do in the winter.
Exactly.
You got to take up more time, because you just need something every other night to get through those winter doldrums. And like you said, Rock, I think it's a new voice of Dan Muse that's played a role. Carlson's a different guy than he was the first couple of years he's been here.
For sure.
One guy who is continuing to amaze me, and he had a big night last night. He had the game-winning goal, 2 goals and assists, 3-point night, has a ton of points. I'm not even sure how many is Evgeny Malkin playing out of his skates.
And I'm not going to lie to you. He was one of the guys I thought maybe it was time to part ways. Because to me, the last couple of years, it felt like he was going through the motions more. But again, he seems to have a fire this year.
Yeah.
I think he likes playing with his current line mates. They're a big line.
Guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big, powerful line, and I think they complement him well. So I think that's giving him a lot of enthusiasm to go out there and play hard, right?
Yeah, those are good points. And of course, Sidney Crosby is just unreal. He's in the top 5 in goals. Uh, of course, playing his all-around game. Everything he needs to do has appeared a little bit on penalty killing and everything that has to do. Just an incredible start for the Penguins here. If the playoffs started today, they would be in. They're in that Eastern division's like totally kind of the Eastern Conference is kind of totally up for grabs. You don't know
I agree.
who the strong teams are going to be. If they get the goaltending, continue to play sound defensively, and the one thing that I've noticed is, and you can comment on this being a former goalie, it doesn't seem like there's that much traffic in front of the net like there has been in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But
defense has cleaned their act up, haven't they?
They've cleaned their act up. I noticed lately with Pittsburgh, that we don't typically like to be moving bodies in front of the net.
Right.
We kind of avoid that, and it makes it real challenging for the goaltender to try to find the puck through all the traffic. But this year, like we said, it feels different. The fundamentals are a little bit different. They are cleaning out the front of the goal, and the goalies are getting better vision, which leads to cleaner saves, covering up the puck, not so much giving up rebounds left and right, hoping the puck hits them, right? So I think that's added greatly to their defensive scheme and how they're cleaning out their end in order to start the transition into the offense.
Yeah, and the transition seems like out of their own zone has been really clean.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
That's where it starts, right? That's where
right.
it starts. You got to make the save, kick it out to the corners so that we can pick it up in the corners, get it up the sideline, and break out properly.
Yeah, that's great. That's great analysis. You're a former goalie, so you're talking about looking through the defenseman and all the traffic in front of the net. I'm going to brag on Rocky a little bit here. We went to high school together. We played basketball. He was a year ahead of me. He was on the great Crusader team that we had that went to the regional finals regional semifinals in 1984, and that was as far as any Central team's gone in the history of Central basketball. And we've been a very proud group.
We did.
Your senior group, you and Goody and Butchie and Chris Paschke, of course, and some of the other guys, Tommy Andrews, that were Kevin Jedneski. A proud group of seniors, weren't picked to really do a heck of a lot because we lost 4 starters from the year before.
We did, yeah.
So no one was, I don't think anyone was anticipating the year that we had. But Rocky comes along, big 6'6" post player, has an outstanding work ethic in the summer, turns himself into the Eastern District Player of the Year. And a lot of other honors that you had that year, an outstanding year, like a fantasy type of year, way to end your basketball career. And then you moved on and you started your career at Lock Haven, but then you left.
Went to West Liberty for a while.
Went to West Liberty. And then how did it evolve that you became a goalie for the Wheeling Thunderbirds? Talk about that journey.
Well, behind the scenes of all the basketball we played back in 1980, the Olympics roll around in Lake Placid, and everyone falls in love with this ice hockey team, the USA ice hockey team. And just watching those games and watching the energy they played with, man, the passion, right? Yeah. You're like, that's something I want to do. Mm-hmm. So, through the summer and the spring and the fall, my dad had me in the backyard working on my basketball skills, getting better. Well, when that happened, right, it's January, February, I'm like, Dad, we're not back there. Let's get out the hose and let's make an ice rink. And he's like, let's do it. So we put an ice rink in the back, just a little makeshift one with 2x4s as the border. And we went to like Rupp's hockey and
Wayne Rupp, former Penguin player.
We went to Rupp's hockey,
North Hills.
Got a goal, got some sticks, and then I met you guys and Luke Lancia and a couple other guys that played hockey, and we would get together and just play hockey. Next thing you know, we started an intramural street hockey league, right?
So you and Luke Lancia, Jim Gibson, John Butchergrass, who everyone knows, is you guys are talking about forming this league. How did that come about? It was just a street league.
Well, you guys you guys played at Aquinas all the time, right?
We did at lunchtime.
You had a
Correct.
group of guys that
Yeah.
were always playing.
Junior high, yeah.
And we had a really small group at Holy Rosary. We had me, Pat Marsh, Pat Lanigan. I'm trying to think who else. John Munden came up from St. Peter's every once in a while. Mario Saggio came into the picture,
Sag
right?
brothers were hockey guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had a small group. You guys had a small group, and I remember Butchie saying, "Hey, you guys need to come play." So we played like in the parking lot of some church, right by.
We played in front of St. John Arena.
Well, we did later on.
Okay.
We did later on, but we played our first match. There's a church kind of by Kroger's, right up the street from Kroger's in Wintersville.
Oh, Blessed Sacrament.
Right
Sure,
in the back.
Yeah.
We
right.
played our first game against each other there. So we got to know each other a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so then that led to when we got to high school, we were like, hey, we need to keep playing on a regular basis. Yeah. And I says, hey, there's a gymnasium, Holy Rosary Gymnasium, right in my backyard pretty much. And I know at the time, Mrs. Wolkowski used to run it. Right, Joe Okoski's
and
mom.
what a great lady!
She used to run. I think
and the boys were all athletes. The only sport they didn't play was
hockey, right? Yeah. And I think they charged us like $20 an hour, right? And so we would tell her we were going for 2 hours, and we'd get together $40, but then we'd stay there for like 6 hours, right? You know, as long as we brought over the money, we kept.
We had to go to confession for not paying for that overtime, right?
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, we had that intramural league literally all 4 years. Right? All 4 of my years.
Yes.
And I remember we were during basketball conditioning one time, we were talking about this intramural hockey league we had. And Coach D'Angelo goes, hey, when it's basketball season, none of you are playing this intramural hockey. And we looked at each other and we were like, okay. As soon as he left, we were like, game's on Saturday, right?
Thank God no one broke an ankle or anything.
Well,
would have ruined that dream season.
Ironically, there was one Saturday where we had a game on that Saturday. We had our games every Saturday morning at the intramural league. I twisted my ankle really bad, and I just had a feeling something was going to happen bad that day. And I was like, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. But I'll tell you what, I walked that darn thing off and just wrapped it and played that night. I wasn't, and he had no idea. Coach D'Angelo had no idea I had a bum ankle that day. But
probably went for about 20 and about 15.
You never. I can't. I wish I knew who we played. I'll go back and look.
That's great. I love that story. But that just goes to show you where that passion can start for young kids.
Right.
And you 4 guys that were in that class just took it to another level, organized a little league, no parents, coaches, everybody just kind of did their thing. It was just a lot of fun.
You know what? This is how organized it was. If I could touch on this. John Butchergross, who is now at ESPN, used to get out the old VHS camera and do play-by-play. Right?
Yeah.
And
while he was officiating.
Well,
because you guys were the captains, you guys had to officiate the game.
Yeah, and then Mr. Adalevich used to come and do the filming. While we would be out there playing, and Butchergross and Steve
Bartolomeo
used to do a little play-by-play with Butchie, right?
Yeah.
And then they put out a league newspaper.
Yeah.
So man,
we passed it around.
We had it going on. We had it going on, and that was on the side, right?
Yes.
That was just an intramural thing.
That was it. Yeah, we didn't know we were serving as Butchie's intern.
That's right.
But when we got the call, everybody found out he went to ESPN. Everyone said, "Well, of course he did. That's where he was going."
That's right. We knew it all along.
He was that good when he was writing for the SHL News junior year in high school.
Yeah.
But so you move on from the basketball, and then how did the association with the Thunderbirds, who are now the Nailers, of course?
Well, I'll tell you,
about?
I started playing ice hockey in Mount Lebanon regularly. Even when I was younger, I played on the men's team out there, and then you start playing at South Side and a couple other rinks, and you people get to know you, right? And then I found out that they had a league at the White Palace in Wheeling, right? Just an adult league, and there was mixed talent level, right? There were some beginners mixed up with some really good players, some collegiate players, right? And so I went out there and played with those guys for a while, and you get to know those people, and you start some relationships and make some connections. And that's what I'm doing behind the scenes the whole time. The whole time I'm playing basketball, then I go to Lock Haven on a basketball scholarship. I'm talking to the hockey players up there, getting to know them.
So you were playing ice hockey while we were in high school?
Towards in my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, my senior year.
Yeah.
So I was doing a little bit of ice.
How did you have time for basketball?
You made time.
You're like Bo Jackson.
You
I mean, it
made
was like your
time.
hobby, and basketball's my hobby. I'll be go be the Eastern District Player of the Year.
You make here's what it is. You know, senior league hockey is like one night a week,
Sure.
right? So it was like Sunday night.
Okay.
You know, so you go out there and you play Sunday night. The only thing
Were
is,
the Sage brothers with you? Were you?
Dave went with me a couple times.
Okay.
Mario went to play some pickup with me occasionally, but I think Dave was on a team with me at one time. His older brother, Dave.
Dave just sent me a video of him playing goalie at age 64.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's still playing. Yeah, he's still
Oh,
doing
now
that.
I'm
He lives
jealous.
in France now.
I heard.
Yeah, so
I heard.
Yeah, but
well, you know what? I'm going to go in the attic and knock the dust off my pads. I'm going to start playing again.
You got to send us a picture of that.
Okay.
So then the Thunderbirds come.
So Thunderbirds come in from Winston-Salem, and everyone's excited because now we have minor league hockey. It's not going to cost an arm and a leg to go watch a game, and you know you go with a bunch of buddies, and you know you're going to always have seats, right? So they aren't in their first season. They're not a few weeks in, and Rod Hoke, their backup goalie, gets hurt, right? And they got a game coming up like that weekend. And at the time now, what am I, 25 years old? We have a baby. I've been married a year, and I'm working for the city of Weirton in their water system. And he goes down, and they're looking for a goalie. Well, at the time, Doug Sauter was their head coach. He starts asking around at the amateur level, hey, you guys know of a goalie that might be able to compete with us on our team? And my name came up. So they called me. They said, hey, Doug Sauter calls my house, right? And I'm like, hello. And he says, hey, this is Doug.
Was Michaela old enough to pick up the phone?
No, she was one.
I don't know who this is.
I was like, he goes, hey, Rocky, this is Doug Sauter from the Wheeling Thunderbirds. I'm like, yeah, right. Who is this?
Gibby, stop.
Yeah. I'm like, who is this?
Your prank call.
And he says, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. He goes, I need you to come down to the rink tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We're going to have a tryout. I just want to see if you can compete with the guys. I got 2 other goalies coming in from Pittsburgh. You guys will go 30 minutes each. And whoever does the best can suit up as our emergency goaltender for the season. I said, okay, I'll be there at 10. So I get there at 10, and I walk into the locker room, and the guys have no idea that I'm an amateur who's never played collegiate, minor league. They have no idea. They think I have, the pedigree that they do, right? Sure. So they're real nice to me, and we get on the ice, and I'm doing fine. I'm seeing the puck. I'm making the saves. My only thing is I think I can skate until I skate with professionals. Mm-hmm. Then I realize how bad I am, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're doing our skating drills, they can now see that this guy's he's not a play candidate. He can barely skate, right? So, but in my mind, I was a good skater. But anyway, I do okay, and I'm in there, and I'm facing shots and doing drills, and it's hitting me. I feel like I've been here longer than a half an hour, right? Then a little bit later on, I feel like, man, I've been here for at least an hour, right? Next thing you know, practice is done, and I start to skate off, and I skate by Doug Sauter, and I'm like, hey, coach, what happened to the other goalies? He goes, when we saw you making the saves early, we called them and told them to stay home. So I was like, hey, what an honor, right? What an honor. So he goes, yeah, as long as you're available, you're going to be our emergency guy all season. That's great. So that's how that started. Yeah. And that one season led to 10 seasons as the emergency goaltender for the Nailers. Now I got to dress while Doug Sauter was there. I dressed while Larry Kish was there. Tommy McVie, who was the coach of the Jersey Devils during Penguins' first run. Yep. When Peter Angelo made the save, right? Tommy McVie was there, right? Yeah. So when Laviolette was there, I didn't get a chance to play for him. Either they really didn't need an emergency goalie, or maybe he had somebody else. I don't know. But when Laviolette left, Brophy was the coach, John Brophy, who's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And man, I got some stories to tell about him if we ever have time.
I bet.
And I played with him.
This is like a PG-13, maybe
Yeah.
sliding into our, so you can cut it loose a little.
Okay. So so I finished up with Brophy, and at that point, it was just too challenging to continue to do it. And the funny thing was, even after I had told, at the time, I did play 1 year as a nailer. 1 year I got to wear the
okay.
my very last year I wore the nailer uniform. And
so how many total games do you have any estimate?
I would say total between 40 and 50 games.
Okay.
Yeah, between 40 and 50 games
Yeah.
I got to dress. So, and it was so it'd be like a 3-game stretch and then onesies, twosies. Never more one time. And the first or second season, it was like 2.5 weeks. And I was like, look, I'm running out of vacation time. I got to get back to work, you know. We got to do something here, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the only challenging time I had, but it was a great experience. I never got to play. Was I good enough? Maybe, but I never got to play because the way that the contracts are written, if you have a contract goalie on your team, he gets priority, and a non-contract goalie is not allowed to play over a contract goalie. So, and that's why that emergency title is there. Hey, you're not going in unless he goes down, you know.
Sure.
And there were a couple times in Peoria once and Roanoke once. The goaltender went down, and I was like, okay, how do I feel about this? Do I want him to get up and get back in there, or do I want him to? Do I want my chance? Because I'm really nervous right now, you know. You know? So I had, we were in Richmond one time, and McVie was the coach, and it's like 6-6. It's going to shootout, right? And he calls the team in. I got a plan. We're going to throw him a curveball. Rock, I want you to get in net. I said, in a 6-6 shootout, you want me to get in net? He goes, are you willing to get in net? I go, do you really want me in net? And he goes, I'm just kidding. So that, that was one of the best stories. Another good story, we were in where the Chiefs are from, Johnstown. Yeah. We're in Johnstown, and to go from the locker room to the ice, you actually had to walk through wherever, like the concession stand. So you're walking through, and there's like 1,000 people like lined up. They have like those movie ropes, right? Yeah. Going from the locker room to the ice, and there's all these fans for Johnstown, and they're booing you, and there's
Reggie Dunlop hands you like a half-lit cigarette.
Yeah, basically. So we all come out, and the goalies come out first, and I'm there, and this guy, who's about my age now, he gets right in my face and goes, we're number one. He goes, number one, you suck. And I go, how do you know? I don't even play.
Good comeback. You were ready for that. That's a good one. I wish I would have known that when I had all the people telling me I suck. So you have great memories from this. You spent 10 years. I didn't realize you spent 10 years doing that.
Yeah, 10 years on and off. You know, it was a 10-year period that I was there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And then you get bit by the coaching bug. To return to your roots and all the success you had in basketball. How did that start?
Well, then I actually during that hockey spell, I didn't touch a basketball after all of the career we had together. Going off to college, I didn't touch a basketball for 10 years. Wow. Touch a basketball for 10 years. It was just hockey. So, and then my daughter, Michaela, we were living in Weirton. She goes to St. Joe's, and now starts 4th grade basketball. And she tells me, "Hey, Dad, they're going to have a basketball team for us 4th graders." I said, "Oh, fantastic!" And they're like, "You know a little bit about basketball, right?"
We need a coach. And I said, "Not so fantastic."
I said, "No." He goes, and I says, "Yeah, I used to play back in the day." And she goes, "Good, because Mr. Beniti, who was the principal at the time, says that you're going to be the head coach." I said, "Oh, really?"
You got named head coach and weren't even invited to the press.
Yeah, they just told me I was the head coach, right? So So you get out there and you don't know what to do. So all I do is like, okay, for 30 minutes, we're going to run suicides. I don't know what else to do yet. So they were like, whoa, oh my God, we want a new coach already, right? So I reintroduced myself to the game and fall in love with it all over again, right? And, having two daughters, I kind of fell into coaching girls basketball, which is a blessing. You sometimes wonder what your calling is. And it's very clear that I feel like this is where I should be, is coaching and coaching girls basketball. It's how I give back to the community. It's what I do to, be with the kids, work with the kids, help them not only become good basketball players, but just good people,
Sure.
do the best I can,
Yeah.
do the best I can.
Well, you're a great example of being a good person, that's for sure.
Well, I
Having known
appreciate
you
that.
and cherished our friendship throughout these years. I'm so proud to see you doing what you're doing now. And then, so this coaching starts to evolve and it gets into a little bit higher level.
Yeah.
You spend some time at the high school level and then a little bit at the college level.
Well, so I'll tell you how this goes. So I coach at St. Joe's for 4 years, and now it's 2004, and I'm thinking, I think I'd like to coach at the high school level.
Mhm.
Ironically, Steubenville Catholic Central are looking for a girls basketball coach. So I said, oh, gives me an opportunity to go back home, right?
Mhm.
My kids are still small, and I go and I interview, and the principal was his last name was Rose at the time. I don't know if you remember. And he says, look, I know who you are. I know your history here. You have a lot of supporters that would like to bring you back, but maybe it's a little earlier in your career right now, and maybe you just need a little bit more experience. I'm going to go in another direction. He goes, but believe me, you'll be back here one day coaching. Who would have thought it'd be 20 years later, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't quite work out. So that same year, Madonna needed a coach. And so I went and interviewed for that position, and I got that position. And I interviewed one of my other coaches interviewing for that same position was Don Ogden. And I did not know Don Ogden at the time, right?
Current men's coach at Steubenville Catholic Central. Yep.
Right. So they said, well, do you want to talk to Don, and maybe he can be your assistant and you guys can coach together. Well, that's how it worked out. I hired him as the assistant coach. And so he and I started coaching Madonna together in 2004. And then when my girls got there, I just didn't think it was right that I'd be coaching my girls. I just didn't want the perspective to be there. So I stepped away, and I recommended Don for that head coaching position. He was, of course, qualified for it. And he was the head coach for like 10 years there. And he hired me back to be his assistant, as
Sure.
my kids got older. So it's funny because we can't seem to get away from each other, right? Because we coached in Madonna all those years. Then he leaves Madonna, goes to Franciscan. I go to Franciscan the next year. Here we are both on Susie Delaney's staff, coaching at Franciscan for a year. And then Catholic Central needs a boys coach. Don interviews, gets that job. Now he's the boys coach. And a few years later, they need a girls coach. And here we are. We're back together again.
Yeah.
Still working on the schedule, trying to find that practice time for both of us. It's kind of like we just can't shake each other, right? So,
well, he's a lucky man if he's got you in his life. I know that.
I don't know if he'll say that. We'll see.
So the this is your third year?
This is my third year. Yeah, third
and
year.
Talk about the first couple of years, how they go.
Well, I'll tell you, the first year in, we had a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Brutal. I mean, Big Red twice, Indian Creek, just so many teams that were really good. And we still got 10 wins out of the season. Yeah. We still did good. Mm-hmm. All right. When we played schools our size, we did well. And what a great group of seniors to work with. Ella Maragos, Italia Marcino, Anna Arai, Jackie Okarma. What great young ladies. Just what they made that transition so smooth, and they were so receptive. And when I introduced my style of play, they bought in right away. And man, it was a great first experience. Good. We, just under 500. So, in we asked Ed Lumen and Natasha Canella, who were Jess Lumen's assistants, right? When she decided to move to the Cleveland area, to stay on, and they stayed on, and it made the transition for me smooth, right? Because now they kind of educated me on how the day-to-day goes, the things we have to take care of, how we go about our business at Catholic Central, and it just made that whole experience go well, And then last year, Natasha's stuck with me forever, okay, because she has such a great relationship with the girls, and she is a true Crusader in her heart. I mean, she bleeds blue and gold, and so Ed was with us last year. He started to not feel so well, and so we had to get another assistant for this year. Ironically, the assistant that joined my staff is Elena Moore, who I coached at Madonna.
Oh, nice.
She went on to play collegiate basketball at Westminster and graduated with a teaching degree and wanted to get into coaching. And we were able to hook up, and we had a get together with me, Natasha, and Elena just to make sure the camaraderie was good. They hit it off better than they did with me, So it was like a perfect match. And right now, this season we're off to a good start. We had a hiccup in Claymont. It was unexpected, but you never know, right? You never know. But our opener with East Palestine went well. Had a hiccup in Claymont. Had a great game at Tusky Central the other day. The girls were fantastic. Mara Delaney shot lights out. Mary Rohde's playing with an injured finger, and she was strong on the boards again. She's average. Her first game 1, 20 points, 21 rebounds.
Wow.
Yeah, did good.
She's an outstanding athlete. She can take the ball up and down the floor. So
She play any position and be really good at that position. She's just a great kid. Ari Hoover has moved from a 3-4 to my point guard, and she's a very strong dribbler, and she's aggressive, and she attacks the bucket, and she's a floor leader. Just does a great job, And Mara, she comes from a basketball family, so it's in her blood. And man, she's got a beautiful shot. She plays hard. She loves the game. When I see her, even when it's not basketball season, we're talking basketball. She's all about that. Now with Natalie Cherepko moving on from last year's team to Ohio State.
Is that your
That's
niece?
his
That's your
niece.
niece, right?
Yeah.
That's Bobby's daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have an open guard position, and we have a few girls who are working on filling that. They all have their strong points. That's Delaney Dankert, Mary Fink, Shia Garcia. Those 3 girls they all have their strong points, and we're just trying to find who the hot hand, right? Until we can see who settles down in that position. In our post, we're lucky to have some height, right? We have a 5'11" Gemma Rago, we have a 5'11" Kennedy Balabin, and a 5'10" Monica Bolster.
Wow, good size.
So right, along with Mary Rohde's 5'11". Yeah. So those girls are still battling for that post position. Every day one does well. Gemma Rago played strong at Tusky Central. It was her best game of the season. But we have Kennedy Balabin starting the season because she had such a great summer, and Monica Bolster has just been steady, but she's been playing stronger. So it's exciting to work with these girls. They're all dedicated, and our numbers are phenomenal. 23 girls out for basketball.
Wow,
23. I even had enough girls for our freshman
It was
team.
about a third of that when we came to Central.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we even have the numbers to support a freshman team, but ironically we couldn't build a freshman schedule. So we play one freshman game against Edison, and then the rest of them are JVs. So
So I have just one question. You took your 3-player and moved her to point guard. Who's teaching her how to dribble? Because Haney was the only one on our team that could dribble. Who's teaching her how to handle the ball?
And I don't know if you remember her grandpa.
Butchie could dribble a little bit. Yeah.
Well, her grandpa is Donnie Hoover from Mingo.
And he was a good player.
Yeah, but he's a post player too.
That's right. He was a big guy.
He's a big guy. I got a few bruises from playing against him still.
He's a big guy.
But she just took it upon herself. She, her dribbling is getting much, much stronger. it was never bad, but it's getting stronger as she gains more and more confidence, and then she plays with a fire to a point to where I had to calm her down.
So with her, and you got experienced players like her, Delaney, Rhodey, some of those players that have been there before. Do you think you can make a little run this year?
I'm hopeful. There's we got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Already we've had some ankle sprains and busted fingers, and we just have to stay healthy, and we have to mix things up a little bit. We have to be a little more versatile, and we're working on that. We just put in a new defense yesterday, and we're hopeful. We're hopeful. We were able to get to the OVAC championship game last year, and it was a blessing to get there. And I thought, we got there, we were ready to go. River was a good team last year, and the lights were a little bright. We got there, we were like, whoa, beautiful facility.
The old Echo Center.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful facility. And the OVAC does the best job. They're on it,
Right.
And they made us feel like, we're D1,
Sure.
and they did a great job, and it was great to be part of that. But we lose the game, and we lose pretty big. But right away, the girls are like, "We're going to get back, coach. We're coming back. We're going to come back. We didn't get to play the way we know how to play, so we're going to come back next year and do a better job." So that's where we are now.
Sure
we're focused, and we're hopeful to have a strong season, to get back there and do well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it seems like every Crusader basketball season ends in Highland. But Highland is now not in our district anymore, so that changes things for us. So we'll see what the future holds for the Crusader girls.
Well, I'm sure you were always a guy who was able to improve and do great things in hockey, basketball, and in life. And you're the right guy to be running that program. So everybody's like really enthused.
Well, I appreciate that. It's like I said, this is where I want to be right now. And I love this group of kids, and the future looks good too, as the basketball program in general, all the way down to the second grade, is solid. We have great coaches that are teaching and working with these kids. We have great people around them helping run the organizations. Dave Antonelli's still involved, and he's doing a wonderful job with these young ladies coming up, and the coaches that are there helping them. Man, I could just run down the list of them. What great guys and ladies that are helping these kids develop. And I think the future Crusader program is going to be as strong as it is today.
That's fantastic. Well, we certainly appreciate all the work that you're doing. Appreciate you being here so much. Stuck around for a few minutes. We'll talk to Donnie and his niece. I'm sure had a great experience playing.
I hope so.
She sure did. Donnie, we're so happy to be here at Sunset Motors. Thanks for being our sponsor host today, and it's great to be in a kind of semi showroom. We got a nice vehicle back here, and tell us, so Sunset Motors, how long have you guys been here?
Been here a long time. I was thinking about it last night, and I thought, my dad might have been here around the time Chuck Knoll started, and coincidentally, it was the same year, 1969.
Wow.
So he's our head coach.
Yeah.
He's still here. He's 90.
God bless him.
He's right here somewhere, actually.
Yeah.
But you'll find him here every day. He's even here on Sundays to this day.
God bless him.
Yeah, and my brother and I, so he's
brother
been
Bobby,
here almost 60 years. Yeah. So it's been
a family business for 60 years.
Time.
Yeah.
We're blessed because my whole family is still here.
Yeah.
My sister lives here. She's got 4 kids. My brother and I have 3 each. So all the grandkids and myself, we're all here. My mom's still around, and things are going well.
Great.
Wonderful.
Where did all the Cherepkos do Thanksgiving?
We went to.
You probably couldn't fit in the showroom.
We went to my mom and dad's house.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. So you the vehicles that are sold here. Talk about your fleet that you have here for.
Yeah, we've had Volkswagen forever, but in the late '80s we picked up Jeep, and then in the early teens, 2011 or 12 or so, we picked up Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram. So we have Volkswagen, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, and used cars, obviously.
Okay, both used and new.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, what do you think is like one of the hot marquee vehicles that's, you might be able to find here, but you wouldn't be able to find somewhere else in the valley?
There's a lot going on, actually. When COVID came, it knocked the car industry on its ear. Inventories got low, which made prices get high. So that's finally changing. The manufacturers are really loosening up, so the inventory is good. A lot of new stuff. We have a Volkswagen bus just came back out, like the old microbus that people remember from the past.
When are we going to take that to a Steeler game and party on that thing?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Rocky,
There'll be nobody in the state.
Yeah, I can believe it. I'm actually
Yeah.
going up to Cleveland for their game this Sunday.
That's okay. But there's a brand new Cherokee coming. Right now, we got them on order. Grand Cherokee, Wagoneer, all brand new models. There's a lot going on. The VW Jetta is still around. Almost everybody got rid of their cars, their four-door sedans, but Volkswagen kept theirs. So we have those. We have Volkswagen GTIs. The Hemi is back. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram took away the Hemi for a while, and people wanted it back. So they brought it back, which is kind of against what the industry is doing. They're all downsizing their engines and going to electric, but you could buy a Ram with a Hemi or a Durango right now.
Great. That's awesome. So as far as like your clientele, you serve the valley and you've taken a great deal of pride from that because you guys are from here. You've all stayed here, and it's great to see a business that stays here and continues to flourish and serve the valley. Do you get some people from outside?
We do.
City limits and that kind of thing? Where do they
We
come?
do. And, anybody that's watching this, if you bought here before, come back down. We're online. We're all over the internet. But we still have friends that, have moved away and they still come back. And with the internet, we sell all over the United States. Believe it or not. We sold a Volkswagen bus to the state of Washington about 2 months ago.
Wow.
Someone flew all the way in. We had the right color, and internet changed everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for the better. So
Yeah.
do you still have like a lot of people that come in and they're not sure what to do, about buying a vehicle, or maybe, my kid's able to drive now, we need to find something. Talk about those relationships you've forged, how you guide people. You're from the valley, people trust you, and people want to come here because they know how long you guys have been at it serving the valley.
I appreciate you saying that. That's really that's why we're still around. If you would pick up a phone book from when we were in high school and look for new car dealers, there'd probably be 30 of them in a 10-mile radius. And right now there's 3 or 4.
Wow.
Out of those, there's only a couple that are truly local, where the people live here. They go to your schools and your churches. We all live in Bloomingdale and Wintersville and Weirton. Kids go to the local schools, and the big thing is what you said, though. You form relationships. If anybody comes down here at any given day, they'll find my brother, myself, my dad. My brother and I still sell cars, so we'll be the guy that makes the deal, and it's a lot of work, but I think people appreciate it.
Sure.
And some people are buying cars off of Carvana and all this stuff that, what do you do when you have a problem? I sold a guy a car last week, and it was a nice car. I had it a couple days and a part failed. It was a used car. He didn't want a warranty. It had no warranty, but we got him right back in. We put his car in the shop and fixed it, gave him a loaner car while it was down, and he'll be back. So those are the little things that we build on daily to keep it going.
Sure. And you guys have supported the community. I mean, what are some of your favorite things? Obviously, you're involved in the school. What other things do you guys get involved
Yeah,
in?
we're involved in the schools, the parishes, St. Joseph, the Worker over there, Blessed Sacrament, and we employ dozens of families.
Yeah.
A lot of vendors we support around here, from the garbage truck to the city of Steubenville with the electric and heat and just a lot of stuff like that. Guys like yourself, we love to support. I think you're doing a great job at what you're doing.
We really appreciate being here. you have like do you have seasons, Donnie, where you're more ramped up now, or is this a good time? This is a good time to come in and buy, right, or think about buying, right?
Yeah, the typical good seasons are spring and summer, but right now there's a lot going on because the prices are really coming down.
Okay.
You can get anybody could walk in right now and get about 12 grand off of a new Ram.
Wow.
There's 0% for 72 months.